Hello everyone and welcome back to the Paletteful Packs YouTube channel. My name is Monique Renee and today I am going to be opening and playing with all the supplies in the Petite August box. Oh, hello. What is this? Oh, this is like a pencil case. It says Palletteful Packs right on it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yay. All right, next I see a bunch of pencils. We've got two different kinds of erasers. This is a Mars plastic eraser, and this is an art eraser. Ooh, a lot more pencils. Okay, I missed a bunch of pencils. We've got a blending stump first, which is great if we have all these like graphite pencils. This is like a thick boy. And then the last thing it looks like is a traveler sketchbook. I adore the color of this book. It says it's recycled paper, 160 pages, 74 pounds. I'm super excited about this. This looks awesome. All right, I have got the info card pulled up right here on my phone. These are Wolf's Carbon pencils. They are drawing and sketching pencils. They offer the advantage of both graphite and carbon. Very cool. All right, then we've also got the Derwent Onyx pencil. It says this is darker than a 9B pencil. So that is crazy dark, and it also says that it's really smooth and easily blendable, so I'm super excited to get like some really dark values with this guy. All right, next we've got this guy, which is an All Stabilo. I hope that's how you pronounce it, but it's a multi-surface pencil, and I didn't notice that, but it does say paper, glass, plastic, and metal on it, and I guess this is a water-soluble pencil, which first of all, exciting. I've never tried a water-soluble pencil before, and second, it says that it can draw densely and legibly on any surface, including paper, glass, metal, and film. So I am so curious about this, and I'm absolutely going to try it on some weird surfaces. So that is very exciting. Next up, we have this sketchbook, which is a Pentalic Turquoise Traveler Pocket Sketchbook in the size 4x6. Again, this is beautiful. I'm excited to break it open. It does come with the elastic closure, and it says it has a Ripon marker as well, and it also says that the cover is water resistant. Of course, we've also got the Paletteful Packs pencil case, which will easily fit all of these supplies, so that is super fun. This is great. It's like a really good size too. The supplies also are listed on the back. A lot of supplies came in this one, so also listed is the blending stump and the two erasers. Oh my goodness, I am throwing things all over the place. Hello. All right, and we've also got the prompts for this month as well. We've got Still Life, Heroes and Villains, the year 3000, and Summer. So I'm definitely going to be doing a still life of some kind because these are just perfect for like still lives and value studies. So I'm excited to do some of those. And I want to do some weird stuff too, especially with this pencil and this one, and just see what kind of weird stuff I can do with these supplies. So let's get started. So this sketchbook has a really interesting texture for the cover. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it feels almost like a leather texture. And then it has a really nice embossed, I guess it's their logo on the back, and it feels really nice. And I noticed that the back also has a little pocket, which is awesome because I like to stuff my sketchbooks full of like leaves and flowers that I find. And then it has a little ribbon as well. So I'm going to open up to the very first page, and I'm just going to start seeing what these pencils are like. Oh my gosh. Okay, these pencils are super smooth. Ooh, these are gonna be fun. I can already tell. They're super smooth and super dark. They also work really nicely on this paper. The paper has a little bit of tooth to it, which I like because you can see a bit of texture through it. So those were the Wolf pencils. I am now going to try the General's drafting pencil, and I'm guessing this is more like a drawing pencil, so this is good for like sketching out something. I'm glad they included one of these because I was really worried I was going to have to sketch with the B pencil, so it's great that they included just like a regular drawing pencil as well. All right, I'm gonna try the big guy. So he actually doesn't feel as smooth as these guys, but I like it because it has like a broader point. It's like a bigger pencil, so I can cover more ground with this one. I guess it's because this one must be made of pure graphite, and these guys are made with like the carbon mixture, and it really creates, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but the regular graphite pencils have like that shine to them, and the carbon ones don't. They have a very different look to them. So that's really interesting because I've never even heard of carbon pencils before. But yeah, and now we have this guy who I'm so curious about. So I'm just going to try to draw. And so far it looks just like a regular old pencil. So I'm going to take a paintbrush if I can find one. All right, I can tell that this paper isn't good for water media, but that's okay. I'm going to take a paintbrush with a tiny bit of water on it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is definitely water soluble. So interesting. And if you really work at it, yeah, the paper is definitely crumbling. But if you work at it enough, you can even like get rid of the like original strokes that you had done with the pencil. So I'm excited to try this on some paper that will do it a bit more justice and to see how I can like best use this, because I'm confused on exactly how to use it and how to maximize like its good properties about it. And I'm also going to grab some glass and maybe some metal if I can find any and see if this draws on that as well. We've got our blending stump too, and I'm just going to see if this reacts differently with the carbon pencil compared to the graphite pencil. That blends beautifully. Oh, that is lovely. I love it. It looks like I do get kind of some texture, maybe some chunkiness with this kind of pencil, and this one feels a lot smoother. So this one, it feels like there's some kind of like flakes in it, which is probably the carbon, whereas this one, it just feels very, very smooth, but it doesn't quite blend out. It blends out fine, it just takes a bit more working at it, whereas this one just kind of like smooths out like butter. All right, and I'm also just going to try to erase some. That erases magnificently, and that is the darker than 9B pencil too, and that erased pretty beautifully. So this is a fantastic eraser. Yay! All right, so I found this metal lid to a trash can that I have, and I want to see if the regular pencils will draw on it and then see how this one holds up. So first I'm going to try one of our carbon mix pencils, and I'm just going to try to make a mark, and absolutely nothing shows up on this at all. I'm gonna try the drafting pencil, and this one does show up a little bit better. Not sure if you guys can see that. And I'm going to try this onyx pencil, and that one does show up pretty well too. I'm going to try now the multi-surface water soluble pencil, and it shows up as well. And this one is a lot more subtle, but it's a good drawing pencil, and I actually wish that I had this for, oh cool, you guys can see. I wish I had this for when I worked on a project that I bought this for, because it'd be really useful if I could like sketch out an idea beforehand and then go with like paint on top of it. So I'm very excited to use this pencil. It's really cool that it's water soluble too, because I imagine if you were to paint on top of this, if you use a water-based medium, then the pencil underneath will wash away. So I'm very excited to play around with this guy too. I also have a tiny glass jar, and I want to see if it will draw on this too. So it does. Wow. Not sure if you can see that, but yep, there's the mark right there. So yeah, this pencil will draw on, oh wow, it shows up really well actually. Whoa, okay, sweet. That is super, that's super exciting, wow. Oh, that is fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have tons of fun with this. Okay, cool. And just for comparison, this is how the carbon pencil looks. Nothing. That pencil, absolutely nothing. This guy, a tiny bit, but really not much. So this you can really see more than with the metal lid, but this guy will draw on things that other pencils cannot draw on. So, wow, I didn't even know that this was a thing that was possible. That's something you could buy. Huh. Alright, welcome to the drawing portion of the video. So I did start off by doing some still lifes, and honestly, I think the last time I did a still life was in high school. So my still life and technical drawing abilities in general are super, super rusty, and I actually didn't realize how rusty they had gotten until I sat down and did some of these still lifes. So these are a bit rough looking, but I'm really glad that I did them because, for one, I discovered that I'm not that great at them, especially since I've improved in a lot of other areas in my art, but I haven't really improved actually drawing from life. So that's super valuable to me because I know now an area that I'm lacking that I didn't quite know before, and I'm really excited to just fill up this whole sketchbook with a lot more still lifes. Still life is a really valuable skill. It's something that every artist should at least try to do occasionally. And like I said, I haven't done it since high school. So I'm really excited to just like dedicate some time, even as just like a warm up every day, to just kind of busting out some still lives. This sketchbook is also great because of its size. I feel like I'm often intimidated by large sketchbooks because I feel like I need to fill up the whole page, whereas a smaller sketchbook like this, I can get the satisfaction of filling up most of a page and not being overwhelmed by how much space I have and how much I have to actually draw. So it's much easier for me to like sit down and do like a page of still lives if it's in like a much more manageable size, like 4x6. The paper quality itself was lovely. It was smooth enough to where the pencils really glided on the paper, but it does have that tooth like I mentioned before, which I love because it gives some texture and just something extra to the drawings as well. The pencils themselves, I loved. Very fun, very gorgeous, especially those carbon mixed pencils. Those are so smooth and they blend so beautifully with each other. You can see in the other speed pen that I do, I kind of really push the darks a little bit more than I did with these, but you can just get such a dark, beautiful, deep black, and they just blend so beautifully with each other and with the blending stump, and oh, I'm so excited. These are so beautiful. So after I did those still lives, I was not ready to stop playing with these pencils yet, and I was thinking about the other prompts that the Paletteful packs had, and one of them was year 3000, which first made me think of the future, but then as I was thinking about it, I kind of started thinking about like the aesthetic of like retro futuristic, which is basically what people in like the 60s thought the future was going to be. And it's a really fun take on like a sci-fi type setting. So I wanted to draw a cute like space babe who had that aesthetic of like, you know, retro futuristic. So that's just the thing that popped into my head, and the idea excited me so much, and I thought it would be really fun to draw like a portrait with these pencils and include some like maybe some metal or some kind of like high contrast element to it. So what I eventually came up with was this girl who has this cool like helmet on, and she has like this clear visor coming down, and it looks like she may be like a space renegade or something cool like that. So I sketched out a few different ideas that I had, and I wanted to draw like a space gun too, so I did that too. Basically, I just had fun with these. Like, I cannot remember the last time I had so much fun just like sketching. And sketching is something I actually usually have a hard time with because I feel it's hard for me to just sit down and just have fun sketching. I feel like a lot of pressure to complete like a finished piece. So it was really nice to just sketch and like come up with different ideas and then, do something like a bit more polished. But going back to why I love the sketchbook so much, I didn't feel like an intense amount of pressure. So I was able to do more of like a quote unquote finished piece, but still have it be like fun and loose and not too serious because of the size. But it's still something that I'm really proud of, and I'm really happy how it came out. And most of all, it was just really, really fun, especially with the theme. I had a blast designing this character and using these products. So I definitely feel that every artist should have like some good graphite pencils on them. I feel like it's a staple in any artist's arsenal, and these are just a really great addition to mine, especially those carbon pencils. They just, beautiful. This drafting pencil, which is what I'm using now, was also really nice. It's a really good sketching pencil because you can get some really light strokes, which I like to do at the beginning, and then you can also define more when you like push down a little bit more, but it's still not like as dark as the B pencils, which are what I'm using now. But it's a really nice run-of-the-mill sketching pencil that I'm really glad that I have now. But these guys, these are what I'm most excited about in this box. I adored them. So basically how I used them is like this. I sketched out my sketch with a drafting pencil, and then I started going in with the lightest pencil, which was the B. With these kind of pencils, they start off at B, and then the higher number they get, the darker they get. And also the higher number, the softer the graphite/carbon mixture. So I started off with B, and I would like just kind of lightly press in the areas I knew were going to be in shadow. And if I wanted something to be darker, I might go in with the 2B. And that's how I did the face, because I wanted the face to be not super, super dark. And then for the hair, or places where I wanted more contrast, I would go straight in with the 6 and 4B and use those alternatingly to create a more dark color, more contrast. The pencils blended beautifully with themselves. Like, I was able to get really nice gradients with just using the pencils. And then when I used them with the blending stump, I just got really, really beautiful gradients and really, really smooth. It was lovely, lovely working with these. Another thing that I did is after I would go in with the blending stump, if something ended up being too light or too blended, you can also go back in with the pencils on top of that to create more depth or more texture. So I was really using these materials like alternatingly with each other, and it was just a really fun experience. Another really fun thing about these materials is, of course, you can get really awesome contrast because of how dark they are, but with the erasers that you get, you can also lift up the graphite really, really easily. So you'll see later, I do this with her visor, but if you have an area that's shaded, you can take the edge of the eraser, and the erasers also have some really fine edges, so you can just kind of like swipe in there and get some highlights, which makes the whole piece really, really pop. I'm really excited to use these with some toned tan paper as well. Something I really like to do is to create cool works with toned tan paper and graphite pencils. So I'm excited to use these in the future with some other supplies too, and see how they work differently than other graphite pencils I've used in the past. Overall, the way I like to use these materials is just taking my time and doing a lot of layers and really making sure to push the darks, because something that I often do is I get a little timid and I don't want to use the darkest darks, but it really makes your piece go so much further if you can push those values and that contrast more, which is great because you have like a 6B pencil in here, and that just creates just these beautiful dark parts. And I feel like especially with a black and white piece, if you can get like some really high contrast in there, one, it's really fun to do, and it's fun to like push yourself and see how extreme you can get the contrast in a piece, but I think it also makes your piece look really neat. It also helps train you to think of values instead of colors, and that's something I struggle with a lot. I feel like a lot of my pieces are lacking maybe in value, so I'm excited to also practice more value studies and then see how I can translate that into my color works as well. Graphite pencils are a great tool to use for that because you don't have to worry about color, you can just worry about the values. I am super jazzed about the contents of the box this month, especially the pencils and the Traveler's Sketchbook. I am going to be taking this sketchbook with me a lot of different places, and I'm really excited to also just do more studies and just play in a sketchbook again because it's been a long time since I did that. So thank you guys for watching the speed paint portion of this video, and I will now leave you with my final thoughts. Alright, so there we have it. That was my unboxing of the Paletteful Packs Petite box for August. Final thoughts is that this was a great box. I am very happy with the quality of the supplies. I think I made something really cute that I'm like really excited about, and I'm excited to fill this whole book up with more sketches and more still lives and doodles, and I'm just really jazzed about it. If you would like to get your hands on your own Palletteful Packs box, please check the description box below, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye everyone!